Hi, my name is Stephen Nuñez, and I am the Director of Stratification Economics at the Roosevelt Institute. And I will be sharing the results of some research that my colleague Jack Landry and I worked on over the last 18 months, estimating the cost and impacts of the SSI Restoration Act of 2024, which is the precursor to this 2026 bill. So Jack and I did what's called a microsimulation analysis. We used the current population survey's annual social and economic supplement to first estimate conditions for SSI recipient households, including their poverty rate, and then to simulate how those conditions would change under the SSI Restoration Act of 2024. We're also paying special attention to households that would become newly eligible for SSI under this bill. We then estimated the annual cost of the SSI Restoration Act of 2024. So on this screen here, you can see our top line finding, which is our impact on poverty. We used the supplemental poverty measure and found that currently SSI households have a poverty rate of about 29.2%. But if the SSI Restoration Act of 2024 were passed, that would drop down about 60% to 11.8%. That is roughly in line with the overall poverty rate for households in the United States right now. We also wanted to look at poverty by individual component in the bill. So we asked the question, what would happen to the poverty rate if we took just one of these provisions in the bill in isolation and we implemented them independently? And we looked at three major features: the in-kind support and maintenance provision removal, the increase to the earned and unearned income disregard, and the increase to the overall benefit level. And we found that of these three provisions, the increase to the overall benefit level was most impactful, at least in terms of poverty. Simply implementing that on its own would decrease the poverty rate to 16.9%, which is about 70% of the impact of the overall bill. You might ask how much this would cost, and we looked at the full SSI Restoration Act and each of these individual components. And we found, similar to the Social Security Administration's own analysis of an earlier version of the bill, that the SSI Restoration Act would cost roughly $61 billion per year to implement. That would almost double SSI expenditure each year, whereas in contrast, the benefit increase only would cost about $34 billion, and the disregard and in-kind support and maintenance removal provisions would cost considerably less. These two later provisions don't decrease poverty as much as the benefit increase, but they have important impacts on administrative burden and reducing benefits churn amongst beneficiaries. I don't have a lot of time, so I just want to say that the full report is available now at the Roosevelt Institute webpage, and I encourage you all to look at it if you're interested. It includes a history of the SSI program and how we got to this point. It includes a discussion of each of the components of the SSI Restoration Act of 2024, what they do and why they're included. It includes an analysis of the impacts broken down by region and by demographic characteristics like marital status, race and ethnicity, and age. And finally, it also includes a discussion of some other aspects of SSI that are not treated by the SSI Restoration Act, and what legislators might consider to further modernize and reform the program. So thank you very much for your time, and once again, thank you for having me here.